and Iran. So friends, this is the background. So what do we notice? Failure of the famed Mossad, the intelligence arm, which so far, Mossad has destroyed an Iraqi nuclear facility by sending aeroplanes at about 200-300 meters above the ground, undetected by Iraq. And it is called fight against the sun. And it destroyed the nuclear facility that was in the making. Then in Iran, the uranium is to be U-235 or 238. 235 is fissile, 38 is not. So there are centrifuges which Iran was having hundreds of them. Now this time Mossad did not send any man. It put a what we call in cyber space a spyware, and it disabled the spinning, and they went out of control and destroyed themselves. Just like one of the Rakshasas in India who put his hand on his head and did like that. So, how did Mossad fail? And what is that lesson? India failed when Bombay was attacked by the Pakistanis. America failed when the Twin Towers were destroyed. So, there is what is called Murphy's Law in communications technology, which says if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So something can go wrong, and therefore it has happened in case of Twin Towers, in Bombay attack, and now. Now, what is it to be done? Does India, who is on whose side? They are terrorists. In the 19th century, there was a William Gladstone, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 3 spells, 4 years each. In the House of Commons, he took that holy, I won't say, Quran, and waved and said, as long as this book exists, there will be no peace in the world. As long as this book exists, there will be no peace in the world. And in India, we have got what is called the Calcutta Quran case. That is, some 80 ayats in the Quran, they spew venom and intolerance and incite theologically. If you are a loyal Muslim, you should hate others, you should kill others, continue jihad. Now Hamas has declared a jihad. That is, don't lead a miserable life on earth. If you kill the kafirs, that is non-Muslims, you go to heaven. So all those riff-raff who are having a miserable life, for them the choice is to go to Jannat, that is heaven, kill the kafirs. So that is what they have declared. And this is happening, gentlemen, not only in Israel, not only in Palestine. Just now there is a book which I was reviewing. When the population of Muslims increases from 2%, 5% to 8% to 10%, what will happen? So by the time they come to the 10%, there will be any number of innumerable communal riots, which India has been a victim. So what is happening in Israel, the Hamas has declared jihad, which is supported by Iran and Syria, and it is worse than ISIS, that is Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. They were doing, some of them recruits from Kerala also went there. Anyway, that if you have read that Kashmir files or have seen that one, you will have noticed. So to summarize my submission, this is part of the ongoing war inspired by the theology in the Quran, the theology of hatred and the example of beheading of the 3 tribes that were expelled, that were exterminated in Medina, in Medina, by Prophet Muhammad, the third tribe, 800 Jews were lined up, asked to dig a trench, and under the presidency of Prophet Muhammad himself, they were all beheaded. Those people who were beheaded had to dig their own trench, dig their own graves, and somebody will come and cut and throw, come and throw. He sat there from 12 o'clock in the morning and the evening. He saw a beautiful woman and said, her separate. Of course, he wanted her to marry, and she said, I won't marry you. If you want to, I am helpless. You may keep me as your concubine if you want. She refused. But anyway, that's a different. What I am saying is, the template has been set by Prophet Muhammad himself. The theology in Quran is imperialistic, and a number of those ayats which is used tolerance and inside jihad had become a matter of in the High Court of Calcutta. That's called the famous Calcutta Quran case. The judge was a Maharashtrian lady, and from the questions she was putting, it was clear that she was going to ban the Quran. Then immediately Jyoti Basu appealed to the United Front government. They all came, they transferred that lady judge and put a communist judge there, and communist judge said, these are words of God. How can men sit in judgment on that? Dismiss the case. That's called the Calcutta Quran case. So friends, this is a war that is going. Islam is not a religion. It is a tool of Arab imperialism. There are any number of books on that one, and that is what you take, for instance, Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie, in 1980s, the fatwa was given to behead him. Recently, a few months back, one Muslim in America wanted to kill him. Can you imagine that one? That is the type of hatred that is there, instilled from childhood from mother's house. And in India, please be warned. I am reading so many things that by 2047, India will be ruled by Muslims. This is the unfinished agenda of Islam. Nothing is wrong with Muslims, everything is wrong with Islam, because their theology is that one. So what they are saying is by 2047, the organization that was banned, PFI, Popular Front of India, it was preparing for that one. We shall first rule through surrogates. For example, West Bengal's Chief Minister, Telangana's Chief Minister, Bihar's Chief Minister, and of course Kerala has been from the beginning, since its beginning, since the birth of the Communist parties in India, they have always been with the Muslim League. So, now already a few states are under surrogates, Muslim surrogates rule. As Congress has weakened, the regional parties have come up. Dr. Ambedkar, in his wonderful famous book of 1941, he said India shall be divided, all Muslims shall be sent away to Pakistan, because in any case no Hindu and no Sardarji can live in Punjab. So Nehru did not agree, Gandhi did not agree, so we are left with no province which is no part of Pakistan ever voted for the Muslim League. It is only the Muslims of what we call India, they have voted. They created Pakistan, not the Pakistan party Muslims. They started supporting Punjab. It was a unionist party, that was a government unionist party of Sardarjis and Hindus and Muslims. Sir P.R. Ayat Khan, etc. In Sindh, some other word, I forget the name. So what Ambedkar wanted did not happen, because Nehru wanted the Muslims as bonded voters in this country, which they are. As long as Congress was strong, they were voting for them. Now it has become weak, therefore they are voting for the regional parties. They are voting for the regional parties. The latest in our state is that OIC has said Every person who is denied a Congress ticket, I will give a ticket. He will give a ticket. So friends, the prospect is, unless Hindus wake up, we will be divided by caste, and by 2047, in fact, Owaisi says that a lady, Muslim lady will be the Prime Minister of this country, and that will be facilitated by the dynasty, regional parties who are part of federalism. We are in the post-Mughal era in India, post-Mughal era, just like Nizam declared independence in 1724. Similarly, every ruler declared independence, and one by one was conquered by the East India Company, trading company. So the lesson from what is happening in Israel for India is that unless Hindus see the peril that is looming, the 2047 will happen. Now, our intelligence agencies will have to be strengthened, and I was listening to him. He is going to tell something very great. That is, if somebody is wanting to divide India, why does not India try to divide the other countries? So I will stop at this. I will be happy to take questions after all my friends have spoken. Dhanyawad.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chaudhary. I think we have a very crisp sum up of the historical incidences that have led to the current crisis in Pakistan. I would be requesting Ravi Ranjan Singh ji to sum up what's going on currently. Where is this current war headed? Who are the players in this war? Ravi Ranjan ji works a lot with several external agencies and has information that I think will benefit us in terms of the different players that the rest of the world doesn't know are active in this war, and what your perspective on this is today.
Thank you very much for organizing it at such a short notice. Rather, you were not prepared, and I was also not prepared. But that's, I think, God's will that we are all here. I have learned a lot from him in a few minutes. So his experience and knowledge, and I think after that I'm rather scared because he has already revealed everything of history, and that is what is related to the present scenario. About 1 year back, we came with an organization that is FOJI, Friends of Jews and Islam. First thing we did, we had a seminar at a place called Dasna, that Yati Nursing Saraswati ji, now is Yati Nursing Giri now. We had a session there, and the topic was jihad, love jihad, how Israel deals with it in Israel, a lesson for it. That was the topic. And of course, we have got a lot to learn from our tiny country. Maybe that is population is less than that of Canada, so or surrounding areas. The first thing we did is we have written it to the Honorable Prime Minister. India recognizes 7 communities: Hindu as a majority community and 6 minorities. That is Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains and Parsis. So we want, I want support for that, and we have proposed it to the government that let Jews be recognized as the 7th majority. We have nearly 5,000 Jews. Of course, there are more than 10,000, but nearly 5,000 declared Jews, because some of them fear prosecution. So at least we have 5,000 declared. And when we come to statistics that are not very clear, but it is something like 600 Jews under 40. So all the benefits, it's a symbolic benefit, but a gesture which I believe it's a gesture towards Israel and Jews. Because we need them more than they need us. And recently some Jews, they were thanking me. I said, no, it's my war that you are fighting. So no, please don't thank me. It is my war that you are fighting. So I'm thanking you for that. The second thing we did, that is, we have moved a petition in UN. That is in 1988. Synagogue was dismantled, demolished by state of Pakistan, state of army of Pakistan. Because every country has got an army, but Pakistani army has got a country. It was demolished by presidential order of Zia-ul-Haq. Zia-ul-Haq as a brigadier, he killed more Palestinians than Israel killed. And so the same Pakistan is now standing with the same mindset, with the same general, in the queue, the same generals, the descendants of the generals, because Pakistani army, rather to say it's not a Pakistani army, it's not Pakistan, it's Punjabistan, where 80% of the army and 90% of the officers are from Punjab. So it is also some internal issue that we were discussing, that Balochistan and Sindh. Sindh, of course, Sindh Assembly passed for getting merged into Pakistan. But Balochs were an independent country and they were invaded. And the invasion took right after King of Kala came to India, met Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. I don't know why I always I misspeak it like Jawaharlal Nehru. So, I'm sorry, it is Jawaharlal Nehru. That's what we call him. So Jawaharlal Nehru, immediately after that, there was broadcast on All India Radio that the king of Balochistan has come to merge with India, and India refused it. And that's what led to the invasion. Maybe invasion was still there, but that fastened the invasion, and the king was arrested. So in fact, we were here to support Balochistan, and now the Prime Minister of government in exile in Balochistan, she is in India. Of course, she has got her own limitations because of protocol and diplomacy and international relations. So that is one thing. So that is what we were discussing, that if it as separatism and it can be spread to India through Pakistan, it can also be done vice versa. So that's what we are into. And the second thing what we demanded about the synagogue was that since Pakistan claims itself to be a democracy, so this synagogue must be restored and protected by Pakistan. Well, it's not something strange. Many synagogues, churches, gurdwaras, mandirs, and even masjids have been pulled down. But the strange case here is that there was no claimant for that land. Like the Ram Janmabhoomi case, yes, there was a claimant and there was a counterclaim. But in this case, there was no counterclaim. Even Muslim refused to take the land. But our army went ahead, and now there is a mosque standing on that synagogue. So if it was a dispute between mosque and the synagogue, things would have been different. But this is simply to snatch them and to wipe them out of Pakistan and then out of the world. That was the out of this from this earth. The second thing, right now, what we are doing, a couple of days back, we went to, in fact, it was an initiative of Yati Maharaj. We had a long session, and then he went to, he was about to set to go to embassy of Israel to express solidarity in a letter written with blood of his disciples and his blood, of course. Then he was manhandled, he was stopped from reaching the embassy. There were about 200 people, and finally it was requested that, okay, only let 5 of them go there and present the letter. But they were not permitted, and they were not so arrested, they were nearly abducted. We were abducted and we were brought to the police station. And the DCP there said, you give it to me, I'll handle it all. We are not sure what happened to the fate of that blood-written letter. So right now, coming to the situation, well, there is a lot of support by Palestine, for Palestine, for Hamas or Palestine or whatsoever, or for, rather to say, for the Islamic world. But unfortunately, there is no support for Israel. There has been no gatherings, no meetings, and I think she is the first one to hold this meeting throughout the country. So we need more like this, and we also need on-road show of strength, because if we don't do that, that means we are half dead. That's what it is. Second is, now there's a lot of hue and cry about an attack on hospital. That's unfortunate. Or rather, any attack is unfortunate, any loss of life is unfortunate. But at the same time, since I'm working for Baluch, 2 years back, 500 dead bodies were found on rooftop of a hospital, civil hospital of Multan. And all 500, the body organs were removed from all 500 people. So that is that's an army which is harvesting, which is in the business of organ harvesting. And I'm really afraid about fate of the people who are in the custody of Hamas or whatsoever name we call. So we also need support for their safety, their security, and India must do something to protect them. Well, government has got its own power and also its own limitation. But we as a civil society, I think we are better equipped to handle with such situations than the mighty governments or the courts. Sometimes when I'm working for Jhatka, people say, आपके मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हैं, आपकी कोर्ट क्या कर रही है? Well, Modi ji is not my Modi ji, he is the country's prime minister. I have got no special connection or relation with him. But let's do something. हम क्या कर रहे हैं? That is more important than what courts are doing. What मेरे को, I have to do my own karma. So my karma right now is to support Israel. And Monica ji, I expect after this seminar we have more shows. Well, it is all show of strength what they are doing. We need to come openly come in support of Israel and pursue others to do so. So while I was taking some notes while he was speaking, it's nice to have, I feel elevated sitting next to him. That is, all of us should go through a book called Understanding Muhammad. I know how many of you have gone through that. So, and then there is a YouTuber, Dr. Wafa Sultan. What Wafa Sultan says, and I learned a lot from Dr. Wafa Sultan. She says she is a Syrian and now settled in US. Says there is nothing good Islam, bad Islam, political Islam, this Islam or that Islam. There is only one Islam, and that is Islam. And that is exactly what Muhammad practiced and preached. And Sir has already enlightened us what he practiced and what he preached. So we must be ready for that. And well, iron don't fail. I think it the other way around. Had it not been there, what would have been the fate? So it is one thing. It could defend fully and properly, but with this advanced technology, we are depending too much on technology and less on human intelligence. So this is something. There was a film, Hollywood film, Planet of Apes. So that's all about that how apes could overrun a well-established advanced state, because they had all the system to stop laser guns, they had all the system to stop nuclear attacks, but they had no system to attack to stop sticks and stones. So this is a lesson we have to learn. Let's not be very, let's not be too sure about army is there, air force is there. Army and air force is not going to be there in each and every street corner. I have to be ready myself. So what happened in Israel is happening in India right now, and it has been happening for years. This is only at this for last few years the scale has not been as high. So we are really, it's like slow action, so there is slow reaction, but the action is already there. And regarding coming back to this thing, minority majority issue, Muslim population is going to take over Hindu population in few years. The graph is going to cross. So what benefits a minority is getting, Muslims are getting as a minority, say a 4-year child is getting admitted into a school and getting all the benefits. And by the time he's doctor, and then he's there to serve the society. But the man, the child who has been promoted as a minority, or rather given privileges as a minority, will be representing a community which is already a majority. So the benefits will be reaped 20 years after, but the statistics are of the day. So it is wrong to say that they are a minority, they are second largest majority. So second largest majority, when we come to this Israel and all, one thing is very clear, that is between US and China, US is scared of China and China is pretty sure of its strength. The reason is that anything I'm talking, it is my mobiles, was talked between me and you, they can always have access to it because of their technologies, their economy. Same is with the US. But luckily we are fortunate enough that unlike US, in US, yes, technology or mobiles or whatsoever, China has got access to all this. But in US there's also one problem. That is, the Chinese are there in every research center, every university, every technology or every policy that is being made, the photocopy comes to the White House and the original is in the China. So that is the problem they are facing. Fortunately, yes, we are dependent on mobiles, which China has got the access, but fortunately in our universities or research center there is no Chinese. But at the same time, if Indian agencies, they go to Pakistan, they have to do some homework, some spade work and the risky work. But the situation of Pakistan is entirely different. They don't have to really send their men or implant this thing. And this is where they failed, because they were also too dependent on their community, Muslim community, and information was shared through them. So this is the present scenario, and they are in this fix. And right now it is not only a duty, if it is, they call it their holy duty, then it is my holy duty to protect Israel. It is not merely my duty, it is my holy duty. Because if I fail today, that is, nobody is going to protect it. So I feel Israel and Jews, they are fighting my war, not, of course, it's their war. And I like to conclude it. I think I was not, maybe I have went some off track, but still all these things are integrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Raviji. We will get back on some very important questions on the role of Iran, Biden landing in Jerusalem, also Hezbollah. I think there are some very important players that are not in the limelight. Iran has, of course, Iran's role in the current war is established, and the international media is talking about it. Hezbollah's support to Hamas is a given, it is happening, and also the role of US. So we will have Rambabu Garu finish his talk, and then we will come back on to these points too.
Savayana, Honorable Hamman Chaudhary garu,
I'm not a minister. Don't say I'm not a minister.
Ravi Ranjan garu, and the host of the evening, Monica garu. Should we continue in English as they have said the president, or should we go in our mother tongue? Either way is fine. I am okay with every language.
Rambabu Garu, because there is a live telecast and there are people who don't understand Telugu.
So, day before yesterday, I did a talk on the YouTube on my channel Satya Bhashya, against which I received some threats that you will be booked under 154 IPC, because you are trying to generate hostility between communities. These things are quite normal. The topic of the day, what is that we have to learn from the Israeli war to our context? And when we have just introduced ourselves, most of the attendees of the evening, we are all talking about Israel war and what we should do. It is a bit disappointing. Why disappointing? Because we had Hamas in every city where the population of Muslims is more than 16%, 1/6. Hyderabad is infested until 1984. Every Ganesh Chaturthi, every Durga Navami, we used to have the problems in the old city. If that is not Hamas, then what is Hamas? Now, we have seen the most brutality in Israel when 10,000 Hamas terrorists, I am reiterating the word, Hamas terrorists, entered the homes, dragged them out, slit the throats, old people of the age of 80s, women who are pregnant, the children who are as young as 6 months. They were all taken as hostages to them. And the pregnant women were slit open from the stomach, and the small baby was pierced to death. The same things, if you recall, 1946, Razakars, under the siege of making this as Osmanistan. They didn't want to go to Pakistan. They wanted this land to be Usmanistan, because the Nawab of Hyderabad was Mir Usman Ali, and he wanted to create a separate country, for which he sent a representation to UN after the Second World War. Thanks to our good fortune, September 17, the movement of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, we should thank him to the bottom of our heart. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this day to talk about. If that was not Hamas, then what was Hamas? So we all have engrossed into our own families, our own lifestyle, our own earnings. I would call, you may want to scold me after that, I would call, we are the most selfish community on this planet. Hindus are mostly selfish. They don't even bother about what is happening the next door. Leave about your Sanatana Dharma. In 1988, when the Rama Janmabhoomi movement was catching up, Hindus were all getting together. The central government was smart enough to reveal what is called as the Mandal Commission, to divide us among the reservations and the backwardness and the Muslims and whatever. Today, you will see the same thing happening. From Bihar, it is already started, which has been caught up by your young leader at 54 years, Rahul Gandhi, who says this election will be only on caste and only on caste. Jiska jitna bahumat, uska utna hoda. That was his statement. So gentlemen, you should understand what is the difference between Israelis and us today. Israelis, they gave a call on the early morning after the Hamas attack. 3 lakh soldiers have represented that country. And the population of that country is 90 lakhs only. Out of which 12.5 lakhs are Muslims. And some are atheists. But they all stood by the land and the country. Because they love their religion so much that they stood by that. In India, even if we go and attack Balakot, our opposition wants proof. Proof. When the country has called it a war, the immediate past Prime Minister of Israel, he said, I am going to fight the war for my country. That is the opposition unity they have. And I want to satirically correct Ravi Ranjan ji that he said Muslims are the second largest population. No, they are the single largest population. Why? Because I am a Chaudhry, I am a Brahmin, I am a Reddy, he is a Mala, Madiga, Kummari, Kammari and all that stuff. And none of them are Indians. None of them are Hindus. This is where we stand divided. This is where we are the easiest sitting target. The Sikhs in this country are just 2.5% or 3%. 1.7%. They have contributed their might to this country. And Parsis are 0.17 to 0.18%. They have contributed to this country. So, today I was supposed to do a video about Lankhanam Paramaushadam. Fasting is the best medicine for any disease. Why so? If you saw the second day after the attack of Israel, people across the world started supporting Hamas. Even in India, we are no less. Our students from JNU, our students from AMU, and our own students in the backyard, Hyderabad Central University, they all have come in support of Hamas and the Palestinians. I may want to support Palestine because all Palestinians are not Hamas, but all Hamas are Palestinians. We should understand the difference between. If the Prime Minister has spoken to the Palestinian Prime Minister, I welcome it. The humanitarian help, I welcome it. But I am not supporting Hamas. Why am I talking this? Terrorism in any form is terrorism. When they cut a woman into 36 pieces, they say Allahu Akbar. When they rape a woman in front of the public, they say Allahu Akbar. So as Ravi Ranjan ji and the most learned Hanuman Chaudhary said, the theology is at fault, not the Muslim. The Muslim who read the book is following it. Let me also take you back to the Direct Action Day, August 16, 1946, Calcutta. Massacre on the streets of Calcutta.
10,000 Hindus on the first day.
30,000 Hindus. Go one step back. 1905, when England wanted to rule Bengal, which was a 13% highly spoken language at that point of time, they wanted to cut a line saying East and West Bengal. 1905, what happened? Hamas attacked on Hindus, both in East Bengal and the newly formed West Bengal. If this is not Hamas movement, what are we waiting for the Hamas movement? Just 3 years back, similarly, 400 stabs on one constable, that Sharma. He was brutally stabbed 400 times on his body and he was thrown in the gutter. The templates remained the same from 1875 to our knowledge in India to yesterday when the tailor Kannaiya Lal was beheaded at his own shop. I am trying to bring a resemblance and our understanding. Chaudhry Garu has said Hamas has failed, Mossad has failed in understanding the movements of the Hamas. Why? Every day morning at the gate they all stand to work for the Israelis. They want their money, they want their food, they want their clothes. And all these people go rush to their homes, have their food, clean their homes and understand what is happening in their homes. Cheap labor. Palestinians have no food to eat in their land. But they have to live. If they have to live, they have to work with you. If they have to work with you, there is no secret in the house for them because they have to clean the house. Ghar pacha karo, wo saman idhar lagao, ye saman udhar lagao. This is what we tell them. And they understand everything.
That's what Bangladeshis and Rohingyas are doing in Delhi.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Not only Delhi, your own house, our own house. So in the want of the labor, we are employing anybody and everybody without understanding who they are. Kannaiya Lal's next neighbors, they were also tailors. They are the ones who told, this is the fellow who uploaded the Facebook about Nupur Sharma. And they gave a warning. They came under the guise of customers and he was beheaded by their own hands. Why? Your own next neighbor is their sleeping cell. Our own homes, our own pancherwalas around the corner of your homes. Please realize, every half a kilometer, you have one Bangladeshi or the Rohingya in the pancher shop observing what is happening in your areas. We all want to feel great. We are giving them work. No. They are serving you for their betterment tomorrow. One small example I tell you of how loyal these Muslims are with their owners. This is the Agraharam at Kapileshwaram temple. The children of all our children would have gone to America, Germany, wherever they are earning. We feel proud. And our parents are at home as old as 92. So two couples who had a driver for 30 years, Ahmed, with them, and they took care of him properly for all the 30 years. Their children have gone to America and they were funding this couple and the household there. This Ahmed's son was educated by this couple and he became a graduate. One day the father and the son were going with them, traveling, and the son has overheard 3 crores cash in the house. We should get it deposited in the bank. That evening, these two were dead, the cash was missing. So this is the loyalty that our servants have with us. Understand, this is not our magnanimity, this is our helplessness to employ them because of cheap labor. This is one common thing between what happened at Israel 10 days back and what is happening in and around our houses. And we just said they have 56 countries. The modus operandi for them is, the other day, around 6 years back, we have this Padmarao Nagar. One Brahmin family wanted to leave the place, they want to go, they have put their home on sale. That time they were asking about 66 lakhs. One puncher fellow around the corner, he came and said, I will give you 75 lakhs. Please understand. Do you have 5 minutes more? Okay. Because I know that the time is a constraint. So 75 lakhs, then somehow these people wanted to bring it to 70 lakhs. Ultimately, the puncher fellow took the home at 75 lakhs. First house, they give you good price. Second house also, they may give you up to 70 lakhs. After that, small irritations, small fights, their communities will come, attack, and you will be forced to leave your homes. This is the same template how they conquered that 56 countries. This is the same template if you go to Vijayanagar colony. If you go to that Asif Nagar, beyond that Venkatramana colony. Earlier they used to be Hindus, prior to that Brahmins, and then Hindus. Now it is all Muslimized. Mehdi-Patnam, Gudimalkapur. This is the template. We are somewhere trying to protect our false ego. That is their advantage. We are not standing by our own families. Leave your next neighbor. So gentlemen, this is a wake-up call for us. Leave your varna. Leave your caste. First to say that I am the Sanatana Dharma. First to say that I am a Hindu. And please be aware, there are people living around the masjids. Please go to them even if you know them or you don't know them. You stand by them. That is when we can protect our geography of Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Then comes your state, then comes your country. First is our neighborhood. So the similarities which we have to learn from them is, even if it is costing less, even if it is costing more, even if it is costing more, employ your own known people from your religion. They may pluck a fruit here, they may pluck a branch here, but they will not cut your roots. And whenever you are, what I wanted to talk about, Lankhanam Paramaushadam, Harvard University, all the billionaires of Jews, they have withdrawn the scholarships from the Harvard University. And they have caught hold of those boys who got the offer letters from them for the employment. They said, since you are supporting the terrorist activities, I am not giving you the job. I am withdrawing my offer letter. Mahindras have our seats in Harvard. Pyramids have the seats in Harvard. Reliance have the seats in Harvard. Why couldn't they stop the funding when the Hindus were being humiliated in that country across the globe by them? So these are the people who are like funding them. Stop that funding. तब तक वो पैसे आप नहीं काटेंगे, अपना पैसा किसको देंगे?
मैं डाकू को बापू कैसे कहूँ, जो कहते हैं उनको कहने दो.
Your money at the marketplace. How this money will be transformed and come back to kill you, come back to attack your rights, come back to attack your properties. So gentlemen, I am happy to see at least 45 faces, 50 faces who think about themselves leave the country. हम क्या करना चाहिए ये सोच के तो हम आए आज. We are here to at least say that I am understanding the situation. So as Ravi Ranjan ji said, just after the Dasara, we will call for a day where we all will take participation from Dharna Chowk, maybe until P.V. Narasimha Rao's statue at Indira Park or whatever, in solidarity of the Hindus and the Sanatana Dharmis against the terrorists in any form. And I appreciate Monica ji, when that useless fellow, Stalin, had spoken utter shit. I'm sorry to use the word, but he has uttered abuses against the Sanatana Dharmis and gave a call to wipe them off, like how Hamas have given a call to wipe off the Israelis and the land, the Jews and their lands. When she was a lady who took all of us, she took the initiative to call at the Dharna Chowk on one Sunday afternoon. It was pouring down, but 250 people stood by her, and we all heard what we have to do. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your patient listening. If I have gone off the track, I would ask for apology, but I am happy to go off the track also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rambabuji. There's just a small thing. I think there are two things I have very differing views on, and most times I differ with all the speakers. I do not believe that we are divided.
What?
I do not believe that we are divided. And I have a reason to say that. You see, you wouldn't have lasted as a civilization this long if you would have been divided. No Jaichand was born because he let go of a secret